isn't the, oh, we just gonna talk about the problems and lament. We are no longer going to agonize about special education. We are gonna organize and mobilize and agitate.
Good.
Okay? And
Right. Amen.
that's the only way we can make a change.
That's true.
Okay?
Doctor.
So.
Just tell us what we have to do. We're right behind you.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. So let's talk about where we are and what's going on. Okay. So we all know Portia Deal.
Yes, I'm here.
Everybody see Portia Deal there?
I'm here at the top, headphones.
Okay.
I'm looking at you.
So Portia Deal is our special ed task force and special ed committee chair. And we met on Wednesday and we put together a plan that will allow us to move in the direction that we need to go. Move us in a direction on a local level and on the federal level so that we can impact IDEA, and on a local level so that we can make sure that we have the space that we need to do what we need and actually be able to go to bed at night without having anxiety attacks.
Amen.
So the first thing is the letter. And Portia, can you explain the letter? Oh wait, let me introduce who's on the call real fast. Board members, unmute yourself. PGCEA board members, unmute yourself. Michelle Clark.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Michelle.
Who are the other board members on the line? The way that this is, I can't see everybody right now.
Annette.
Donna Christie is here.
I'm right here.
Annette Jones is here. Felix. Felix Lazaro. Suzanne Windsor. Yvonne, I think maybe might be here. Albert, if you're here, you can just say hi in the chat room. So the first thing, there's three things that are our goals for tonight. One is to get you a draft letter. Your level of expectation is and the impact that this is having on your job. The second is the opportunity for you to share your letter with NEA so that the NEA legislative team has documentation to take to members of Congress to get IDEA waived. The third thing is the actual letter that we want you to send to members of Congress and to Betsy DeBoss and to Donald, what's his name? Okay, because they have to hear from us. If they don't hear from us, then Betsy DeBoss can say, oh, I don't know. I ain't hear from nobody.
Can you repeat item number 1 for us?
I'm sorry?
Can you repeat item number 1?
Letter to supervisors, and Portia's gonna go over that right now. Portia?
Okay, the letter to supervisors is a letter that you will submit to your supervisor requesting time to be able to meet the paperwork, the administrative paperwork that you have to do at this point to be compliant. Because the way it is set up now with the ICLPs and the now back to the IEPs and the Medicaid and the monitoring and et cetera, everybody knows all the work that we have to do. So I don't have to go through it detail by detail. So what we have come up with and with the legal advice from MSEA, a letter that you will present to your supervisor requesting the time for you to be able to your responsibilities and be compliant, because one of the biggest things, I was in a meeting today, and one of the biggest things that they want to hit you with is you're not compliant. Well, that's very true probably in most people, because the amount of work that you have to do doesn't allow you to be compliant. And most of us still teach. So this letter, which will be shown, I think, on the screen, I'm sorry, and you'll receive a link to it, gives you a template for you to use to present to your supervisor.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it to you.
Question?
Josh, can you let me share screen, please?
Can we ask a question here?
Well, hold on, one second. Can y'all see that?
I don't see it.
No.
No, we see you.
No.
Okay, wait a minute.
Hello, Miss Bill. If they can.
Can you see it now?
No.
No.
Hello, Miss Bill. Thank you, Miss Bill. This is Dr. Spiker Clarkson.
Teresa, are you hitting share screen?
There we go. No, I had to wait for it to be back on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, I
I
see it
want to
now.
give you guys a minute to read through this. Portia,
Yes,
take a moment and read through this, because this is just a draft.
yes.
And basically, I'm just gonna let you read it for a minute, because y'all are smart people.
Feel free to read it aloud for us. It's so small.
Sure,
Okay.
I can do that. You want
Go
me to
ahead, Portia. Go ahead,
Okay.
Portia.
As you know, well, of course, you have your salutations in the beginning and the reference, which is workload schedule. As you know, during this period of stay at home, distance learning, the teacher workday has been defined as, and there's a blank, hours per day. During that time, we are expected to engage our students online, be available to our students online, engage parents, plan and prepare lessons, and participate in meetings and professional development. My workday as a special educator / case manager is no different than any other teacher, but yet the parent follow-up, paperwork, and required attendance at the various special education meetings often occur outside of our workday. Simply put, I cannot be both available to instruct or provide services to students and complete the paperwork or attend the required meetings at the same time. And I am not prepared to continue to volunteer my time outside of the defined workday. Accordingly, I am requesting the following. 1, cease in scheduling meetings outside of the defined workday. 2, provide me with the requisite time during the defined workday to focus on paperwork and case management responsibilities, which requires you to relieve me of instructional duties for a period of time each day or minimally 1 day per week, and or compensate me on a per diem basis for all time worked outside of the defined workday. For your reference, I have attached a log of my activities and time spent on those activities during the past week, all of which occurred outside of the defined workday. I look forward to discussing a resolution to this situation immediately. Until then, I currently do not anticipate meeting the following deadlines. Put the pressure on them to find a solution and tell them that you will not meet the deadline to guarantee a response. Okay. And at the bottom, it ends with, and thank you for allowing me to meet my administrative duties and maintain compliance. Best, your name, case manager.
So now let me share with you a little backdrop on this that Portia didn't know when she drafted this letter, because I want to give a special hand clap and a hoo-hoo for our special education team who have been working on putting this action plan together for us over the past couple of days since Wednesday night. So this happened between Wednesday night and this afternoon. So Portia and the rest of y'all, 2 snaps in a circle, okay? What you don't know is that I did have a conversation with Dr. Golson today, and she said that she was gonna send out an edict to everyone saying that special educators should have their negotiated time, okay? So, you have in your negotiated agreement that you have 5 days that you're supposed to use for paperwork for special education, okay? And nobody else in the county nobody else in the state has that but us, okay? So you have 5 days. Now, your administrator has to allow you to use a minimum of 5 days. Some of you may have already used your 5 days, and some of you may have not used your 5 days, okay? So if you add in there what your status is, that's okay. But we're asking for everyone to have at a minimum of their 5 days. Does that make sense? I'm not hearing anything from anybody.
Teresa, I asked for my 5 days in writing and was told to go back and talk to my building rep.
Who said that?
Have the email. It's from Heather in the speech department.
Oh, well, Heather doesn't have any authority over your 5 days.
I'm just saying, I asked, I was emailing with her, and I used the bullet points you showed us in the last meeting.
Oh, you're a speech pathologist.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
You know what?
So I'm drowned in a very communicative way.
You know, so as a speech pathologist, do speech pathologists get the 5 days also?
I believe so.
I need to clarify that. But if you have to participate in IEP meetings, you're going to need some time.
I'm double booked. I was double booked twice today for 2 hours of the day. And I'm double booked for an hour and a half tomorrow.
Okay. So Janice, I want to help you with your special ed, your speech pathology issues separately. And I want to get my critical mass in right now. And I will promise you, I will circle back and give you my undivided attention. Okay. Portia?
Yes.
So this letter, I am going to put the link to this letter in the chat room.
Okay.
I'm going to put the link to this letter in the chat room. And we are also, I'm going to have Satin Smith, who is our technology person.
Started like so aggressive and black.
Y'all got to mute yourself. And I'm going to have this letter on our special education page at PGCEF, the link to this. Anybody can get the link to it. And you can take this letter, and this is the core letter that you should give to them. And I'm asking you to take it and fill it out and give it to your special education, your principal, first of all, because the principal has to approve you taking the days, and your special education chair. And then I also want you to CC it to Dr. Gwendolyn Mason. Okay?
I think the 5 days is a little misleading because I think you're limited to maybe 1 to 2 days per quarter. So we're probably looking at about maybe at the most 2 days for a SPED educator.
Not necessarily, Troy, and that's a good question because the third quarter, we ended the third quarter and people may not have used their day for the third quarter. You're not supposed to use more than one a quarter without approval from your supervisor. Your supervisor has the authority to give you as many days as they want to give you to get the job done. But that's a great point, Troy. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
May I ask a question, please?
Questions? Yes.
Yes. When we request for our days, because in the normal we usually have 7.5 hours, and that's a lot of hours compared to what we're doing right now when we just have to work between 9 to 1. So when we ask for days, are they giving us based on the number of hours we're working now, or is that going to change due to the circumstance?
So we're asking for 5 days. So it would be we would ask for 5 duty days. So that would be 5 of the 4-hour days. That's why we're asking for 5 days. But your administrator, if they're worth their grain of salt, they understand that you missed 5 weeks of school. And the other time that you could have possibly have been working on these, on IEPs, on renewals, you didn't have that opportunity to do them because, number one, they told you didn't have to do them. So they're asking you to do more work in a confined period of time.
Good afternoon, Ms. Dudley. This is Jurley still from Turning Point Academy. And we met with our special education instructional specialist today. And my biggest concern is exactly what you're saying, because when you go into Maryland Online, mostly all of our cases are out of compliance, they're overdue, and so forth and so on. So we were told today that we should not have any overdue or special education. We should not have any overdue IEPs right now. And what I shared with the our SEIS is that, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. I said, it's incumbent upon the county to go in and somehow change it in Maryland Online. I said, because we were doing what we were instructed to do as it relates to not having any meetings. I said, so now you're telling us now we can have meetings. Well, if we can have meetings, then it should be amended somehow in Maryland Online.
Well, the problem is that the federal IDEA rules and policies have not been waived. So what that means is Maryland Online is going to say that you're out of compliance because you're out of compliance with the federal guidelines, which is what they're following.
But is there a way, as you're saying, once we mobilize, instead of complaining, as you so eloquently stated, is there a way?
That's phase 2, and I'm going to get to that in a second.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question that everybody, I think, should focus on? They should focus on this part. If initially we were told that we could not, we were not going to have meetings, and now we are told that we are going to have meetings, we need time to get this paperwork in, and everything that's out of compliance is going to stay out of compliance until the paperwork is done. So right now we need to find out what is more important, getting the work out to the students or taking care of these IEPs and scheduling these meetings, because we were told that if the students, if we don't have the data on the students, because remember, a number of us went home thinking that we were not going to have meetings, that we didn't need data or whatever. So we weren't prepared to take on meetings at home. So now that we are told that we have to, okay, so now that we're told that now we're going to have to write up these IEPs, we don't have the information. The students did not complete the IEPs. Some of my IEPs haven't complete. So majority of my meetings were in the month of June. So okay, so where's the data? Where are we going to get the data?
Well,
Are we going to
here's
make up the data?
reason why we have to do this. The reason why we have to do this is twofold. One is that the responsibility for deciding whether or not there is enough data to complete a renewal lies solely in your hand as a special educator. If you decide to go ahead with an IEP renewal without having all of your information, or you go ahead and you do it, or you don't do it because you don't have the information, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because an advocate is going to come say, hey, wait a minute, you did this halfway and you didn't really
Right.
So what this is going to open the system up for is not just being out of compliance on both sides, or having advocates coming at them for both which ways is Sunday, not meeting the needs of the student, and then you're the case manager.
Right.
So your butt.
May I speak? I'm Deborah Watkins, and I'm a speech language pathologist who's also a case manager. And I think this is what the other speech language pathologist was trying to say. We're in the same situations as the teachers. Our area of expertise is language, so that's what we do, that's what we teach. But we're under the same gun for doing the paperwork, and probably because we have larger caseloads, 40, 50, 60 kids, as opposed to 10 or 15. So we're under the same gun. And today I was told by my case manager that regardless to whether or not all of the data and all of the testing, which we were planning on doing prior to the execution of the IEP, that regardless to whether we had that data or not, that I must complete an IEP and have it and close it out so that we will be compliant, even though the IEP is not due until July 30th. And so I realized at that moment, no matter what I did, I was going to be damned if I did or didn't, because it was going to be non-compliant because of either the time factor, it not being completed, or it was going to be non-compliant because it was not addressing issues that we had decided as a team needed to be addressed to come up with a new disability. So I just,
Okay, so what I hear what you're saying as is it Miss Watkins? Okay, I hear what you're saying as a speech pathologist, and what I would ask for you to do and the rest of the speech pathologists is to push back also. Take that letter and make it your own, because you have all of the things that you have.
Sit down, put yourself. Can you turn off the light, please?
These pushbacks have to happen as a group.
That is true, but we're part of the special educators team. What we found out in the past is working by ourselves, we don't get much support. But if we're part of a larger group, and we are special educators, even though we're therapists, we are instructing kids in the area of language. So,
listen, this is not meant to exclude you from this.
oh,
I'm encouraging you to stand right up with us, and the speech pathologist can take that letter and talk about, I'm a speech pathologist and I've got all this to do and I've got these things to do, I got these things to do, and it's impossible for me to do my workload and make the same demands.
okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I ask, I'm sorry.
Now, wait, hold up, Miss Watkins, am I clear about that?
Very, very. I got you.
Okay, because I trust me, I know I represent you too. Okay, and it's not lost on me that it's not just speech pathologists. We also have PPWs. We also have other related services providers like our school psychologists who are also being thrown under the proverbial bus with this nonsense. Okay?
I understand. Thank you.
All right.
Another question.
Let me just say something. I had a restriction on the document because I only wanted a couple of people working on it. I have unleashed the document. So what I want you to do is do not change it in the Google Doc, download it and make a copy of it, and then make it your own document to submit to your supervisor and to Dr. Mason.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Okay.
Teresa, a lot of folks are asking.
I know physical therapists and OTs, I see you out there. You're part of us too. And we are all in this together. Okay?
Can I get through the presentation and then do Q&A?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. Okay, so let me put my eyeballs back on so I can see. I want to make sure you saw the whites of my eyes when I said we all in this together. Okay? All right. So the yes, Andrea. I'm just gonna say yes to Andrea. She's put something in the chat room. Y'all can look and read what it says for yourself. Okay, so the I got Portia and poetry. Portia.
Yes.
So the first part of this is you're gonna write your letter, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna ask you to do 3 things today. One is to get that letter to your immediate supervisor, ASAP Rocky. That means if you can get it to him tomorrow, get it to him tomorrow. The second thing is that we have we're gonna send you a letter that we want you to send to Congress and to the Department of Education, and it's gonna come from our Action Network. And that letter we had drafted by MSCA Legal, Christy Anderson, those of you that were on the call last week. And I can share it with you. Lots of stuff going beep, beep over here. Where is it? That's not the letter. Hold on, I'm coming, people. I hate Google Docs. I want y'all to know that. I'm learning to use it. All right, special ed. And there's a letter that you'll receive this letter. And what this letter is it's gonna come to you and it's gonna be pre-filled out for the members of Congress. We will send it to the members of Congress. All you gotta do is add your name and your school to it, okay? And here's the letter. And I want to screen share again. Share screen. I cannot share screen while the other participant is sharing. Screen share. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so those of you that are on the line, this oh, excuse me. Bear with
Teresa was there a few minutes ago. Then you hit a button and it went away.
I know, it's here. Hold on a second. There it is. Okay. Now I can paraphrase for you what it is, but it talks about all of the disadvantages, how all the students have disadvantages. The impacts are most acute in the case of our special education students. And as we begin to prepare for and implement recovery efforts, it is apparent that we need sensible but narrow flexibility from IDEA mandated timelines, more financial resources, and most importantly, more staff in order to provide all the services to which our special education population is entitled. I'm just going to read the bolds because it really hits to what it is. This assessment requires time, staff, and flexibility, none of which is currently provided in IDEA. Specifically, educators will have to assess students' specific needs arising from the transition back into the school building, accounting for the trauma and anxiety the emotional vulnerable students may have suffered during this pandemic. We are respectfully requesting additional funding and flexibility in the timelines for the assessment and evaluations as well as re-evaluations. So all you're gonna have to do, you're gonna get an email from PGCEA. It's gonna be from Action Network. So you have to make sure you check your personal email. We're not sending this to your PGCPS. Okay? So when you get the letter, you can even say, my name is Jan Kramer, and I'm a speech pathologist in Prince George's County, and then you can make your own special letter and send it in. Just don't change any of the sort of legal wording in it, because we had a lawyer look at this stuff already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you will get that, and we will also place the link to this letter on the PGCEA special education page, but you won't have to do that. I mean, I can put the link on here now. I just don't want people to change it. Okay, everybody got that?
Yes.
Yes, but why not do a letter directly to Dr. Golson and let all of us sign it? Because the ICLP was a county mandate. It wasn't a federal or state mandate. And I don't know how much pushback we're going to get if we send these letters to our supervisors. And then what kind of supports we're going to have when we get the pushback.
Well, because with that pushback, there might be, harassment involved in it. You don't know how the principals are under stress, and and I know they don't want to put us under stress, and we're sitting here looking, crazy because we got so many things on our table.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know how many of you have ever been to the beach. When you go to the beach, you might see some crabs in the morning running around on the beach because they got washed up by the tide. And then you'll see seagulls flying around them. And the seagulls are looking for that one little crab that went over there on one side. And that seagull looks at that crab and says, I'm gonna get him. He'll fly down and swoop that crab up and eat him. But if we're all in a bunch together, when that seagull comes to get us and we snap back, that seagull's gonna think twice about it. My point is this, is that as long as we are afraid to stand up for ourselves, then they're gonna do what they wanna do to us. And if we don't have the courage enough of our convictions to stand up and say, no, that is not the way that it should be, yes, then they're gonna keep taking advantage of us. And what's the worst thing that can happen when you write this letter? They have to honor the contract and at least give you 3 days. But if we don't push back as a collective group and have enough people sending these letters in, then what else are you going to do? You can't strike.
I think people are just feeling like it's not about the courage, it's about, you know, I know it's a collectivity, but it's a collective effort. But when you go into your individual schools, that's not a collective effort. You're dealing with a single situation with your supervisor.
I dare one of your supervisors to come for you on this. I dare one of them to.
Trust
If
me.
they come for you on it, I'll file a grievance.
Okay, well, hold on, but Teresa, we all do not know how to file that. What's that? You said MH what 170? What is that we need to learn how to file?
Look, it's not even. Look, let me tell you something. If we do this right, and people really do it, see, here's my problem. I got people running back telling Dr. Golson, and she's coming back at me saying that, hey, I got people writing me emails saying that you were giving out information and you don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
What?
They do.
What? Snitches?
Teresa, I think that the concern is more so
As
about.
a matter of fact, Dr. Golson's calling me on the phone right now.
Teresa, if I was
Answer
it and put her on. Answer it and put her on.
Answer it.
Yeah, answer it and put her on. I'll talk to her.
Answer it.
Speaker.
Are y'all ready?
You know what? I wouldn't.
Y'all acting like y'all ready to fight. Let's do it.
I probably shouldn't even said that she was calling me just now, and that was probably not a professional thing for me to do. But you know what? I'm telling y'all, that's how upset I am about this.
Well, call her back.
I'm upset about it because I got enough people, and I'm not gonna put her on the spot like that. That's not fair to her.
And it's not fair for you for everybody.
And it's not fair to us.
This is our meeting. This is a PGCEA meeting, and I'm
Did
gonna.
someone say she's already on the line?
Did she know we're having a meeting
already
now?
on the call on here. She's already on here.
I invited her to be on the call earlier. She said she has something else to do.
Ask her if she wants to come in the lines then.
So, Portia, do me a favor. Do me a favor, Portia. Can you explain to them about the NEA, where they're supposed to put this?
Yes. I have a question.
Have that website?
No, actually, I have the NEA link, and it's just a slide with the NEA link. But I'd like to back up on the letters. The letter that is going to the supervisors is not an intimidating letter. It's asking for the help from your administration, from your school. The other letter is going out to Congress and to Betsy DeVos on some comments she made about, referencing what the special educators across the country was saying. So this isn't a let's get out in the court, let's do. This is let's work through the situation so that our special educators are able to complete their work, that they're non-compliant, and that when we come back after the pandemic, and it could be winter from a notice that I received, when we come back, we're in a position to move forward. This is not wartime. This is let's do what we need to do to save people. And I remember Dr. Golson saying many times in the teleconferences that I have listened to, I am concerned about the educators because I want them to be okay, because they're not only teaching, they're going home and teaching. And we have to keep everyone well. So let's just kind of look at it from a different way. We're here to move in a direction where we can come together collectively and make it better, not just for the educators, the special educators, but also the service providers, because we're all Unit 1 members. Now, as far as the NEA link, I do not have that, but I know that is a slide that we're supposed to be looking at. If any one of the other members have that link, I'd appreciate you giving it that at this time, please.
So it looks like Teresa's on the line. She's probably, this is Jennifer Epps, Executive Director for PGCEA. She's probably talking to Dr. Golson. Here were the initial recommendations that the Special Education Committee made, I think, last week. And so if you want to incorporate those things into your letter, they, it talks about the 5 SPED day, the special education days that you're supposed to have in the contract, work world relief, how you prioritize meetings and what meetings should be happening, notification about deadlines, because I know that that's an issue, and releasing, and I've seen in other counties where they've released co-teachers and resource teachers from responsibilities so that you are able to have enough time to do the work. As far as the, it looks like someone put in the, Chrissy Lynch put in the website, Education Votes NEA, and that's the website you should go to. So Teresa, are you back?
She's still on mute, but Jennifer, I just wanted to say, in terms of the letter, I guess what I'm hearing is that some people are concerned about sending the letter to their immediate supervisors in the building because someone said they're Unit 1 members like we are.
Right.
And they hold no power.
So we were more talking about the principals and the administrators first, because you want to give them the opportunity to fix it first, if they can. And if they can't, then, their supervisor or the director of special student services is also on there, so that she's at least aware that these problems aren't just happening. Because what we hear a lot of the times is, oh, this is just at this one school, or this is at, give me an example. And we give 5 examples, but we know that this is a district-wide problem. So we have to be able to show that to Dr. Mason, but also you need to give your principal or your administrator an opportunity to fix the problem too.
Can I jump in here?
The other piece is that the workload is so redundant, and that's the bigger problem. Like you're having to go back and do the same thing over. Okay.
Let me jump in here because I just called Dr. Golson back. And, the hard part about this job is that I have to do what I have to do as president of PGCEA sometimes. And sometimes I might even anger some of my colleagues that I've worked with for years, or not anger them, but when you're having courageous conversations, it can get a little tense. So when she called me back, she called me to tell me some good news, actually. And that is that the last day of distance learning will be June 8th. And that the children will be able to make up their work from the 9th to the 15th.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what she called me to tell me. And then I said to her, I said, I'm on the phone with my educators, and I'm getting pushback for them to ask their administrators for what they're supposed to be getting. And she said, well, I sent out a directive that they must honor the contract today. And I said, okay. And she said, and I said, but they're afraid that if they send these letters in, that they're afraid someone's going to take action against them. She said, Teresa, please just tell them to send the letters in.
Excellent, excellent.
She said, just tell them to send the letters in. This is not going to be a problem. But if you don't ask, you will not get. A closed mouth never gets fed.
Can I ask a question?
Sure you can.
Thank you. My name is Dominique Rodriguez, and I work at Barnaby Manor. I just have a simple question because last meeting that we have, it was my understanding if, as a case manager, I don't feel comfortable doing an annual IEP because I have not collected the more pertinent data and I have not assessed the students, I should not be obligated to do any annual report. One, because it's my name in that document. And two, it will be falsificating data. So I just want to make sure that when I go back again and explain that to my supervisor, that I will have the backup of PGCEA if something happens. I doubt it, but I just want to know that I will have that backup.
Your backup. Okay. That's exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of this meeting as to why we need to lobby on the federal level to get flexibility in IDEA. Because whether your supervisor tells you, because whether you do that IEP, right? Let's say you do that IEP, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You say, okay, I think I got enough data. May not be sure, but I think so. So I'm gonna say, yeah, let's renew this one. Okay, you renew it. Then what happens? The advocates come in and say, how could you possibly have done this when you weren't in school for a third of the quarter to renew them?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay? Let's say you don't do it. Then you're what? Out of compliance. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So without the flexibility from the federal government, sweetheart, unfortunately, you are damned if you do or damned if you don't.
That's right. Okay.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
So what I want to do, I want us to be leaders in this movement as an association. I want us, these letters that we are sending, we're not just going to send them to members of Congress. We're going to send them to Betsy DeVos. We're going to send them to President, what's his name? We're going to send them to Lily Eskelsen and the leadership at NEA. And do you know who sits on the legislative committee for the NEA board of directors?
Who?
You. Me.
You.
So we are in the room. I am in the room. All weekend, I met with members of Congress, and I met with Anthony Brown. I met with Steny Hoyer's office, Trone, Rossberger, Jamie, the guy from Montgomery County, Chris Van Hollen. I met with all of them. And I said to all of them, we've got to do something about IDEA. It's a problem. And they said, you know, we hadn't heard anything yet. And I said, well, you sure are hearing about it now. And I need you to do those letters and put it so we can, when you get it from the Action Network, and send it to them so that they hear from them, because when they start getting 500, 1,000 emails from Prince George's County educators, guess what? When they get ready to go up for re-election, we will sure as Sam remember that they didn't do and help us on special ed. And they know that. And they know that our endorsement means something. And when you put it in the NEA, I wanted to share with you, oh my gosh. I need to share. Thank you. When you go to the NEA website, I have it. Let me hold on. I'm doing this. I got this. Come on. NEA has a website on IDEA and special education, right? And when you on the bottom here, and you should go and look at this periodically and see what the issues are. And it talks about how do we message ourselves. Messages to Congress, boom. take action. Where is it? There was any messages to Congress. I'm going to give you the link to it, that was in there was a link in the newsette, and I'm going to pull that because I thought this was it. And look, I'm trying to do the best I can with what I got here, y'all. I really am. I'm unshare me and go back to the PowerPoint, Josh, so I can pull it up. So what I'm in the newsette that came out on Sunday, there was a link for you to go to Congress, to go, to NEA. And it was, wait a minute. Come on. My laptop is acting funny. In the newsette, there was a link that the head of the NEA caucus for exceptional children. Can y'all still see me?
Yeah.
Because my computer just froze up. There's a link in the on the to NEA, to their ed votes on IDEA. And I know these are a lot of acronyms coming at you, but come on. Okay, here we go. In the news that went out, it was about 3/4 of the way down, and in the bottom it said NEA special caucus for exceptional children. I just have a lot of stuff open, and I think that's the problem.
Teresa, why are you pulling it up? I want to go back to the conversation you had with the CEO. Is she suggesting, because I think she suggested that we go ahead and send the letters, but I think the bigger question is she also implying that she's on board with us and that she's in support of us? Because if that is the case, then that's something that should be definitely included in the letter. It needs to have her name or brand on it as it relates to her support, if that's what she's saying.
No, I absolutely disagree with you, and I'm going to tell you why. Because what you're asking for is for it to be their idea of they're telling us what we should have. And I'm sharing with you is that we negotiated a contract with them that we were supposed to have a prescribed amount of days to do our work. And that this workload that they're asking us to do is unacceptable. Now, when I told her that this was the issue, and she said, well, have them write the letters. It does not absolve you from writing this letter.
Teresa, I will write the letter. This is Janice Creamer. I will write the letter. I will revise the letter I already wrote and send it in. But I am telling you that I was directed by Deborah Anzalone to not cancel any direct therapy. And that an administrative day is canceling direct therapy. So I guess that I'm letting you know that I've already had that feedback.
Pathology, you're asking for days, and I have to get clarification from Jennifer. Are you still on the call?
I am. The letter doesn't, the language in the contract does not include related service providers. It says special education teachers. However, I think it's worth saying that, putting down all the work that you're doing and what your workload is, and you know, you can request time to do this. They have the ability to give you additional time.
Well, then I'm letting you know, Teresa, that I've requested it and been told no.
Okay.
And that I don't believe any.
So your supervisor, your speech pathology supervisor told you no.
The director of programs and services told me no. Told me do not cancel any direct services. And I don't believe
asking her what to prioritize.
I did ask that.
Okay.
And I did not get an answer. I asked when I have done the priority list and I have done all the work and the end of the day comes, what do I tell the people who are still left over and didn't get any work done, didn't get services? So what do we tell people that are outside of the workday? I see some people shaking their heads. I don't know what that means.
Are speech pathologists working outside of 9 to 1?
Oh yeah, 100%. And we're being asked by special educators, can you just attend my meeting? The parents is available at 3. Oh, the parent is an essential worker and they're not available until 5 at night. Can you come to my meeting? It's just for a few minutes.
Yes, that is true.
It's just a few minutes over here.
Excuse me, colleagues. Excuse me, everyone, colleagues. Can we please hold the comments and questions so Teresa can finish? It's already 5:37, so that we can get everything she needs to tell us. Please.
I am almost done. Thank you so much. What we will when I get off of this call, I'm going to call Dr. Golson back, and we absolutely have to get our team in front of her and Dr. Mason and come to the table about these issues. Yes. But here's the thing. If you don't write that letter first, here's the problem. A lot of times people come to PGCEA or they'll do something even sillier, blast their administrator on Facebook, okay? Or get on Channel 5 talking about a problem that they're having in school when they haven't addressed it with their principal first or their advisor first. Now, I'm asking you to do something very specific with this letter and request this. It's a simple request, and as I see it. Now, is it going to make you maybe a little bit uncomfortable? Maybe. But they can't fire you for asking for what's in the negotiated agreement. The point is you have to go to your immediate administrator first and give them the opportunity to say no.
Hello?
Okay?
Hello? Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm downstairs. Alrighty, I'm on my way.
Okay, I thought she was talking to me.
Hi, Ms. Dudley. This is Angela Battle. I know my special education instructional specialist told us not to have any meetings before 9 a.m. in the morning and no meetings after 1 p.m. in the afternoon. She made it very clear that a lot of our IEP meetings should be during that workday from 9 to 1.
Now, I absolutely appreciate that. And I absolutely also understand why there are some parents who are working and can't meet between 9 and 1 because they're working, and that is a real thing. So how do you mitigate that and compensate people for that? I'm just asking the question. I don't know the answer. All right.
Who are you trying to compensate? This is Derek Cromer.
Derek Cromer, you not getting nothing. No money for you.
I'm just because I'm a special educator, so I'm trying to make sense of it. While we sitting here talking, guess what I'm doing? I'm doing my grade book because I had to do IEPs earlier. I mean, we do have a lot of work to do, but back to the matter at hand, because we have been on for over an hour now. Who? I mean, this. I don't. This movie going. Who's compensating?
So, I'm sorry.
I don't understand. I didn't understand that statement about compensation there. I mean, because it's not going to happen. I said, I look at it. They're going to deal with us based upon this emergency, and they looking for flexibility, like the young lady just said. So did our administrator over SPED said, hey, 9 to 1 is when we can do these meetings. That's it. No more after. I have meetings on days that I'm supposed to be in class. And guess what? I don't have a teacher to work with. I'm a co-teacher. My teacher quit in January. So double duty is on me. But you know, for the kids' sake and this sake that we in, it's making me pull my hair out. Well, we got to get it done. So I don't, you know, they're not going to compensate no one.
Here it is. I found it.
That's how I feel about it.
It's called Tell Us Your Story. It's in the Newsette.
Yeah, okay.
All right. And here is, and I'm going to show it to you, and I'm copying the link and I'm putting it in Control C. And I'm putting it in the chat because never mind.
Teresa.
Josh, can I share my screen?
Teresa?
Can we please let her finish? Please. Thank you.
This is the link that I'm getting ready to put in the chat. After you write your letter to your principal requesting time, I want you to take that letter and share your story right here. Can you see it?
No.
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 You can't see what I'm sharing?
No.
No.
We see you.
I just hit the share screen. Here, wait a minute. Let me do it again.
You look like you're going to a gala presentation.
You know what, Felix? That's why I love you.
But
okay, this is it. Stay with me for just 1 second. This is Education Votes. Take action. Share your story about working within IDEA during COVID-19. I need that letter that you're going to send to your principal requesting time to do all of these crazy things, right?
Right.
I need you to put that where it says share your story.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that way, when the legislative committee for NEA reconvenes, I can say, hey, I know my educators submitted hundreds and hundreds of factual stories about what's going on. Why aren't we using them? I need your anecdotal evidence. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so having said that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and in the chat room, we're going to make the chat available online too. We can do that on the website. It's NEA, it's Education Votes. Okay. Robin Keys, what are you saying? Can we work toward getting the money that was taken from special education teachers who were classified as resource teachers? Well, I'm not sure. Maryland State Legislature vote to end the financial compensation for highly qualified special education teachers. That was for those that were outside of the classroom as resource teachers, correct? Under the comprehensive schools program. That comprehensive schools program no longer exists. Robin, if you want to send me an email about that and follow up about that, I'll be more than happy to answer that question. Will all of the steps identified on this call be emailed to all special educators? Yes. They will be mailed out, if not tonight, first thing in the morning. But I wanted to go through the action with you so that you knew what we had to do, because right now, the administration is sitting back and they're saying, well, we did it to them. What they going to do about it? We're going to push back. We're going to push back with a nice little letter that's very politely written, saying what we want. That's number one. Number two is we're going to take that same nice little letter and we're going to send it to NEA, right? So NEA knows, right? And the third thing we're going to do is we're going to write a letter to our members of Congress saying that this is a problem and that's going to come to you through your action network. Those are the three things.
Okay.
Okay. I know you guys got a lot on your plate. And, you know, I'm sorry, I'm sweating like a moo. You know, you guys don't have any idea how far up on the ceiling I have been for the past week. Jennifer has been trying to keep me from self-imploding here, because what you feel, multiply that by 1,700, because that's how it hits my heart. So I'm asking you to be courageous. I'm asking you to put your Wonder Woman underdraws on and your bracelets and your Superman suits and write these letters and get it in to your administrators as soon as possible. I'd like for you to try to get them in by the close of business tomorrow. If you can't do it then get it done on Monday morning. So that, because what's going to happen is they're going to trickle up. If 200 educators give the same thing to, well, we got 300 people on the call, do the same thing to every principal, and most of the principal get these, they're gonna start calling up the food chain. They're gonna say, well, what's gonna happen? Dr. Golson's gonna say, you have to follow the contract, a minimum of 3 days. And the contract also says that two things. One is that the principal can give you more days. If your principal's worth a grain of salt, they're going to give you all the time that you need. But they have to give you the minimum amount of days that you have not used yet. And they, per contract, because they didn't want to do a memorandum of understanding for distance learning. And the second piece to it is that they have to give you those days. And it also says that they can give you more days if they so see fit. A closed mouth never gets fed. You got to ask for it. Okay.
Teresa, can I ask you a question?
You can ask me anything you want. I got number time.
Okay, isn't it in the contract that it states that if your general ed teacher has quit and there's no coverage and you're the special educator and you're the only teacher in that class, we're supposed to get paid for that, correct, in the contract?
Right.
Subpay.
Subpay, correct?
Right.
Okay, so then when I go to my principal and say that even though we're in this virtual education, they're still supposed to pay me subpay.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Absolutely.
Dr. Golson said that too.
And the forms are available online, sweetheart. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good.
I knew the voice. I had to look hard to see. I did too. Any further questions?
Can we get therapy?
Can you get therapy? Absolutely. Absolutely. The Employee Assistance Program is available to you through Prince George's County and Innova. You can get up to 4 therapy visits.
And Teresa, they just put out a memo in the continuing professional development. They're offering some a session on stress reduction or whatever, but that just ticked me off even further because I said, well, you're clearly aware that you're stressing out your people. So you're giving us, you're not removing the stress, but you think you're going to give us something that's going to help us reduce the stress. I don't know how possible that is. Those of you who are interested, it's there. We're not getting extra pay for it. Well, actually they pay you. I think
it's actually full already.
Oh
wow.
Sorry, guys.
It came out yesterday, so.
All right, so
gotta jump on it.
I'm going to tell y'all this. We are all on lockdown in our homes with our family members and whoever you chose to live with before the thing. Now you wishing you hadn't. Too bad. But here's the thing. Find something that you like to do together.
Yeah.
I can't express to you how good it has been for me and my cousin Gail, who is an avid teacher at Gwynn Park. We do live karaoke at 10 o'clock every night on Facebook. And I know it's crazy, but we're having a ball and we're doing it together. She helps me take the pictures and get the room set up and we sing together. And it has allowed us a place to put it that's fun and positive. Whether it's playing cards, jogging, running, riding your bicycles. You guys have the most stressful jobs as special educators. You got to take care of yourself. And
have you all heard any more about when Dr. Golson spoke about trying to get money to people who paid for things that they are using in their home for teaching?
I have not heard anything about that.
Not since then.
Okay.
I have a comment
about that.
Hello. I have a comment.
Go
Can you hear me?
Say
My name is Sylvia Sampleton.
Hi, Sylvia.
Hi. And the comment I have is, I'm trying to figure out, I was listening to everyone speak, and what bothers me more than anything is, our bottom line is the students. I'm not sure, or maybe you can clarify this, or to the administrators, where are we continue to get this kickback with our administrator for not giving us what we need in order to serve the students? I thought they said student comes first. I'm not sure how they evaluating that, but it saddens me to know that all of us as team members, we're supposed to be a team for one purpose only, and that is to service our kids. If you don't give me the equipment and material and resources that I need in order to do my job, and I have to beg the administrators to let them know this is what I need, something is wrong with that picture. The people that are in those positions need to be removed, because if it's political, we are in trouble.
Welcome to PG County.
Well, public education is political, Sylvia.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Because it's public dollars.
Thank you,
It is
Sylvia.
political. But here's the thing, Sylvia. I can look, I'm looking at everybody on this screen here.
Jimmy?
And there he is. Hi, Felix.
Hi.
I'm here.
See you, Elizabeth.
Just the wife.
I try not to mess around with married men. Listen, the thing is, look, we all got it. Nobody on this call got in this for money.
Right.
We get in this job for money, because if this life was about money for me, I'd be put a ring on it. And I'd be trying to get a facelift and a tummy tuck so I could keep on doing it. That's not what this is about, Sylvia. And I don't want you to ever think for 1 minute that you are alone in your thoughts and the love for the children. I've watched Diane Distance with children, Nicola Ross. I'm looking around the room, Vanessa Roberts, and what she's doing over at Rosa Parks Elementary School in SPED. And I'm telling you, she lived downstairs from me now. Her house caught on fire, so she's getting moved back, but I let her stay. She's cool. But anyway, the issue is she's an elementary special educator, and she comes, every time she comes out of that room, she's, oh, Teresa. And I'm hearing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm living what's going on. So I get it. And she cares about every single one of those kids. And you know, she's coming out of the room crying because it's like, I can't do everything, Teresa. I can't do it. And I know she can't do it because if I'm not taking her to the hospital when she has a stroke over this. And I love all of you, and I want you to keep working and doing what you're doing. And we're gonna send a follow-up letter out to everybody from me. It'll be an email from me, so you know who it's from. Actually, it'll be from Portia. It'll be from Portia because she's the chair, right, Portia?
That's right.
So it's gonna come from Portia. She and I'll get together after the meeting, and we'll put together, put a nice little sheet for you so you can take it and do what you gotta do.
May I